just to tap in with the NBA stuff, since we're in LA, we kind of have like a little bit of a battle for the king. Right. So, Kawhi versus LeBron. What are your thoughts there?
Well, I think that Kawhi Leonard deserves the title right now, the mythical title of best player in the world. Okay. Because of what he did last year in Toronto, but what he's done early this year. And that may change. I mean, Giannis may take it. Anthony Davis may take it. Heck, LeBron may regain it. He's been the best for a decade or so. James Harden, it'll play out. But right now, I think Kawhi Leonard deserves that nod. And the Clippers deserve to be the favorite. Yeah. The Clippers, on paper, they look great. And they have a great championship coach in Doc Rivers. They have role players who know their role. They have role players who were there last year, know Doc Rivers' system. And then Kawhi and Paul George, two stars who really can fit seamlessly into the way they play. They're not ball dominant. Like Kawhi, when he gets his points, it doesn't take away from somebody else getting there because he's dominating the ball. Whereas the Lakers have a lot more question marks. How is Anthony Davis and LeBron going? How are they going to fit together? Who's going to be that third scorer? It could be Kyle Kuzma, but he's injured right now. So LeBron playing point. One thing you've seen early on with LeBron, I think it's on purpose, but when he's at the point, he's not as aggressive of a scorer.
Right.
And that's where I think Kuzma's going to help, because if LeBron's not going to be forcing the issue scoring-wise, they're going to need somebody other than Anthony Davis that can create his own shot, and that's when Kuzma will come in. But I think they need to have times where LeBron's off the ball and he gets it at the foul line or the elbow or the wing. And then even early this year, you've seen when he's in those positions, he is more aggressive as a scorer. So I think what LeBron's doing is purposely going through Anthony Davis to get his confidence up.
Yeah.
And let him understand this is your team. Take it. All right, take it. And then get the other guys' confidence up so later in the season, in the playoffs, when he needs to count on them, they're confident because he knows he can do his thing when he wants to.
Absolutely.
So get these guys confident. So look, I picked the Lakers somewhat out of just faith that I think LeBron and AD are going to get it done. Because as I said, the Clippers should be favored, and there's every reason to believe that they'll win it. But I just think that, LeBron and AD, if LeBron can stave off Father Time, then I think they have a great shot at winning the championship.
Okay. Yeah, well, I was wondering about that. Like, even last night, I'm like, okay, LeBron's kind of passive today.
Right. No, even if you go back, even when he was younger, when he's like the definitive point guard, because obviously he's brought the ball up throughout his career. Right. But when he's like, I'm the point guard tonight, or somebody's injured, so he's the point guard, he has had trouble finding that balance between being the aggressive scorer and the distributor. And I think he purposely is just making sure everybody else gets going because obviously we all know he's got a high basketball IQ. He's not going to play point guard like most of the guys today, where they're really scorers and shooters first, but they're short, they got handles, so they play point.
Right.
He's going to get everybody involved and set them up and run the offense or, whatever pattern or scheme they have as a point guard. So I think that's why he's not as aggressive when it comes to scoring, but they're going to need that, and hopefully when it's time, when they need it for Lakers fans, he can deliver.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, one thing, just to touch back on your career, was leaving ESPN hard to come to Fox? I know with reading a little bit about your backstory, Fox kind of gave you a little bit more freedom. Right. Was that tough to leave?
Look, ESPN was great. I have no bad things to say about ESPN. It was an enjoyable time. It obviously rose me up to a level that I wasn't at before. They gave me great opportunities to be on, the Countdown show with Magic Johnson and, just sports centered on a daily basis. I had a great 12 years there. So I've got nothing bad to say about ESPN. But the reason I left, they made me an offer to come back, and they were surprised when I left. Yeah. But they wanted me strictly in a reporter's role, like sideline reporting, which I loved, which was a lot of fun. But in addition to that, they just wanted me to be a reporter trying to break stories and write news stories and things like that. And I wanted to move on from that. Okay. I wanted to be more of a personality and opinionist. And so, yeah, that's what Fox offered me. We don't even have, we're not trying to break news. Like, I don't have to try to break news or chase news at Fox. I strictly give my opinion. And I've earned that. You know, I covered the NBA now for 20 some odd years, 20, 25 years. And so what I compare it to is, at a newspaper, you had beat writers, which I was one, and you had columnists. And the columnists gave their opinion. The beat writers wrote the news. And what I've done is the equivalent of going from being a beat writer at ESPN to a columnist at Fox. It's just on television. Okay, it's just with my mouth. And so that's why I moved on. So people, if they follow me, they've probably seen more of my personality come out, more of my opinions come out at Fox than they did at ESPN.
Right. And you're just quick.
Yeah,
quick.
It's so
it's fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, Fox has been great. A lot of people from ESPN over at Fox.
Yeah.
And it was smart of them to bring so many people. Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp, not from ESPN, but has done a great job. But Rob Parker, Jason Whitlock, I could go on and on. So I'm enjoying it at Fox a lot.
Absolutely. And you've worked with so many different people.
Yes.
It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, do you wake up every day like, wow, this is really what I do? Like, this is...
I think that when you are kind of doing what you're supposed to be doing or meant to do, you don't spend those times looking back like, man, did I really do that? Or am I really doing this? You just do it. And maybe when I'm retired, I'll look back, wow, I interviewed LeBron James. Right. I interviewed Michael Jordan. I was at these big games. I think it's like when an athlete says, like when LeBron does something great on the court, or Kawhi or Steph Curry, they don't sit there and think about it and get caught up in, wow, I did. They just move on and keep going on, and they look to the next thing. And I think that's what it's been with me. I really don't look back. Of course I recognize I've done certain things, and I know I'm blessed. I don't take it for granted, because especially as I've been in the business a long time, there are people who are my age, my generation, maybe a little older or my age, who were doing it at a very high level years ago. And now, maybe they're getting pushed aside for younger people or whatever it is. Right. So I do know I'm blessed and fortunate to still be in the game and really, still moving up and still progressing and morphing into these different ways. I really never expected to have a radio show, a national radio show, not a daily one. Yeah. But it's been great. It's a lot of fun. And so I know I'm blessed to be doing what I'm doing, and I don't complain about it. I enjoy it, and it's a lot of fun.
Great, good to know. Good to know. Yeah. You're living in your purpose, which is pretty.
Yes, that is good.
So with the transition of, well, you've obviously been around basketball a lot, and knowing the pace of the game and the way people are playing, post players not really being post players anymore. Do you feel like in the future that may go back to like actual post moves and power moves, and it being about, guards being guards, posts being posts, instead everybody wanted to be Steph Curry?
I think it'll only go back if they change some rules.
Okay.
I really do. And I think the NBA needs to begin looking at rule changes. Not to the point where something's imminent. Okay. But just watch the development of the game, the progression of the game. Because I do think if the game becomes all three-pointers and paint shots, that's going to be problematic, I believe. It just won't be as entertaining. And some teams like Houston, that's what they want.
Yeah.
Toronto started off the season, I think their first game they took maybe 4 mid-range shots. So it was all paint shots or threes. Yeah. And I think you lose a lot of the game with that. Sports are better when there's balance.
Yes.
In the NFL, I don't want 3 yards in a cloud of dust, which is all running, and I don't want arena football, which is all passing. I want a mixture. In baseball, I don't want all home runs, and strikeouts, which is somewhat of what we have now with analytics. I want home runs, I want strikeouts, but I want ground balls, I want singles, I want runs manufactured, I want stolen bases, I want things like that, a balance.
Right.
And with basketball, I don't want all paint shots and three-pointers. I want a mix. I want some post play. I want some mid-range game. I want some threes. I want some fast breaks, dunks. It's better when there's a balance. So what I actually propose is that, not yet, but if it gets to a point where there's just too many threes, it's just all three-pointers, I think what the league could easily look at is if you just, the three-point arc, if you cut it off at the free throw line extended.
Oh.
And so there's really no side or corner three on up to the free throw line extended.
Okay, yeah.
And so now if that were to happen, you couldn't just plant 4 or 5 guys around the 3-point line.
Right.
And so it wouldn't be enough room for that. So you still have the great shooters could shoot the threes.
Yeah.
But that would necessitate the return of post play and mid-range game. And so some of our greatest players of all time, and even today, Kevin Durant thrives in the mid-range. Kawhi Leonard thrives in the mid-range. So you don't want to lose the mid-range game, but I think that if there was that type of rule change, it would bring back post play, mid-range, still have the threes, and fast breaking. So I think it'd be better balanced. But I don't think mid-range may stay around because you've seen guys like Durant and Kawhi have success and win championships. But post-play, I don't think that will come back unless there's those types of rule changes.
Okay, yeah. I mean, even among kids I've seen play, and I'm like, everybody just wants to jack up threes. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
No, and you're young. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like, I played recently a few weeks ago, and I was like, and these are 20-something-year-old guys. The way people play even open gym rec ball is entirely different from the way I grew up playing. I'm going in the post or looking for somebody in the post.
Yes.
I'm not dribbling all the time. When I came up, the pass is faster than the dribble. But guys now, they want to dribble all around. They get in, they got a 10-foot mid-range, but they don't want that. They kick it out to the 3. And so guys are always over-dribbling and shooting threes. They're trying to play like Steph Curry, but they can't shoot like Steph Curry. And so literally, I was on a team where I don't know if anybody made a 3.
Oh, my God.
It was NBA threes, and they were shooting them like it was nobody's business. But that's how kids grow up playing today.
It is.
And like I said, to me, it's better when there's balance.
Okay, I definitely agree. And I witnessed the same thing playing at my gym. I'm like, okay, guys, so we've shot 5 back-to-back threes.
Right. Let me get this right.
Okay, thank you.